Welcome, and thanks for watching Her Story. Her Story stands for Heroic, Eloquent, Resilient, and Relentless Women. This is a platform that was created to help empower women in telling their stories while empowering others to share their stories as well. Hello, and thank you for joining us on our third episode of Her Story. I want to take a moment and thank everybody that watched the two previous episodes, everybody that have liked, commented, sent me messages, subscribed. Thank you so much for your support. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out those previous episodes. Make sure you follow Her Story on Facebook and Instagram, and hashtag 716Live, follow 716Live as well. So in saying that, in my last episode, I introduced Rocky, the fighter in me. I talked about a lot of different times in my life where that fighter has had to show up in different ways. But in addition, I want to talk about where Rocky actually comes from. And I have a special guest on elaborating on Rocky and her experiences. So Rocky actually comes from, my dad nicknamed me that. My dad nicknamed me Rocky, and I asked him a couple years ago, I said, Daddy, you know, why do you call me Rocky? And he said, baby, because you've always been a fighter. You've always been a fighter. Now, I know I love the movies, Rocky, I got the whole collection, but I always felt like it was something deeper. Like, why do they call me Rocky? Is it because of the movie, because I love the movie? But my dad told me it's because I always was a fighter. So recently, taking care of my dad, we had that conversation again, and he said, baby, I asked you to come get me because I knew that you were going to fight for me. So that really touched me. It touched me really deep. Talking about my dad, the last 8 months, I've been taking care of my dad, my daughter and I. And this past week, my dad actually passed. So I want to take a moment and just take a moment and oh Lord. I want to take a moment just in memory of him. So today I have my daughter, my firstborn, Tyriel Thompson, as a guest with me today. She is actually my dad's first granddaughter as well. And she is who I talk about over and over again, being a teenager, pregnant, and that my firstborn child, and what actually made me and created Rocky, created that real fighter in me. So I think it's important to have her as a guest to actually elaborate and show her perspective and her standpoint in being that child of a teenage parent and how that may have affected her and impacted her life. But also sharing her story as well. So I have today Tyriel Thompson, my baby girl, well, my oldest big baby. Thank you for joining us today on Her Story.
Thank you for having me.
So Tyriel, I just want to ask you really quick, since you are a guest on Her Story, what does her story mean to you? How did you feel about that once you learned that I was starting this podcast?
Well, her story means to me empowerment. It means being courageous. It means being brave. It when I heard that you were finally going to start the podcast, I was very excited. My heart was very full because it's something that we have been talking about, and it's something that I always believed that you should do because you have a voice and you can touch people. You brighten up people's day, you know what I'm saying? People come to you when they have, when they have issues. And I feel like your story is powerful and it could touch a lot of people and it could help people. So I was really happy that you decided to just go ahead and do it.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you say that. And that's what I hope to accomplish here with Her Story and telling my story, you sharing your story, and other women coming out to share their story as well, to encourage, empower, uplift, and let other women know that, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only one that is in this situation, that has been through this and that has gone through this and overcome and made it through and have a victory over that. So thank you again for coming today and joining me. And I just want to shed light on what it was like for you being the child of a teenage parent.
Yeah, I definitely went through some things. I felt like we definitely did grow up together. A lot of things, I learned a lot of things maybe a little later, but some things I was exposed to earlier because of how young you were and because of the people that, you know, I was around and things like that, and because I was around older people, you know, so I was exposed to a lot. I feel like in a sense I had to grow up sooner than I would have.
Tyriel, on the previous podcast, on the previous episodes, I speak about how you've been there for every step of my life and how you helped form and shape Rocky, me having you really brought out that fighter in me. And you know, everything I've been through, you know, you've been there. I didn't get no breaks, I didn't get no holidays off, I didn't get no summers off, I didn't have mama, nobody to take you away from me. Everything, every day, it was you and I, no matter what. So in saying that, how do you feel that it's impacted you and shaped your life?
I definitely am my mother's child. I feel like I've watched you with everything you do, and you've definitely motivated me. I feel like I'm strong because of you. I feel like I'm a hard worker because of you. I feel like it shaped me. It shaped me to be the woman I am today. I mean, I feel like the woman that I am today, like now, is definitely more of a reflection of you, of your strength and of your growth. I feel like who I've grown from was more of a reflection of the struggle and the pain and the things that, you know, we went through together, the things I've seen. So I definitely feel like I'm stronger, and I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't get that experience. If you weren't my mom, I don't know where I would be. I don't. So it's definitely impacted me a lot.
Absolutely. I've watched you go through it, you know, and I've watched you overcome. And one of the hardest things for me was having to let you be an adult, having to let go of you, not let go, but letting you make your own decisions and be an adult, because I didn't want you to make some of the mistakes I had made. And, you know, as a parent, you just want to protect your child from everything. You want to keep them from bumping their head. You don't want them to get any bruises, you know, and I always, in a sense, kind of sheltered you in that way. But I also understood that you had to trail your own way. You had to bump your own head and have your own experiences and make your own mistakes. And I remember when you got your first apartment, I remember, you know, that experience and having to let you go and be independent, and that was really hard. That was really hard. I'm like, oh my God, my baby, no, no. Just stay here a few more years. You can stay here through college, everything, just stay here.
Honestly, I think that for me wanting to leave as early as I did, it has a lot to do with the things that I went through as a child and just wanting to get away and experience the world on my own. And I don't know, I think that for me wanting to leave as early as I did, it has a lot to do with the things that I went through as a child and just wanting to get away and experience the world on my own. And experience the world on my own. And make the big girl decisions because I already felt like I dealt with big girl things. You know what I mean? So I dealt with abuse as a child. And a lot of that stuff I kind of buried, but I was also always running away from it. You know what I mean? And I was always looking for love.
I know as a parent, I did my best in loving you. So was it something that was missing? Why do you feel you had to look for love?
It was nothing from you. I always felt love from you. I never felt love from like my father. So I searched for it in other ways, and being abused by somebody that was supposed to be a family member, it really messed up my perception on love and what I was supposed to, what it was supposed to really be and how it was supposed to really feel. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times I felt like love was painful, and I felt like love was painful, and that's just something that was a part of that, and that's just something that I had to endure to, I don't know, get to the other side of it, mm-hmm. finally, I guess. But yeah, I never felt like I was loved or accepted really from a man like that, like, except my papa, so that's why I was always searching for it.
Okay. So in searching for love, what are some, like, what are some of the things you reached or latched onto in searching for love?
What are some things I went through?
Yeah, perhaps.
In searching for love? I went through a lot. I went through a lot of me taking a lot of what I didn't deserve, accepting a lot of BS, a lot of low standard shit. I was just, just happy that somebody was there, acting like they loved me or whatever, I went through mental, emotional abuse with somebody that I was with on and off for like 13 years. And I accepted that, and I thought that that's what it was supposed to be, and that's what I deserved, because I used to didn't think that much of myself. And a lot of that was from letting people tell me that I really wasn't too much. I really wasn't, I ain't gonna be nothing. I'm not, I would try to show my talents to the people that I was with, and they would basically dismiss it. And so for a long time, I forgot about my talents. For a long time, I didn't really care about it. I didn't care about myself. I just cared about pleasing that other person, So now I'm in a much better space, and I care about pleasing Tyriel. I care about loving me and finding who I am.
Just breathe, baby. Take a deep breath.
And finding who I am, and figuring out what is broken inside of me so I can fix it.
Would you mind sharing what that journey has been like for you, getting to now? Like, what was some of your turning points? Like, what was it? Because I speak about being in a dark place for the last few years, and I believe you can remember when I started sinking into a dark place. And I know the turning point for me, where I said, I no longer want to live like this. I no longer want to be in this dark place. I want to actually live and love me and live life in its fullness, walking in God's purpose. So what was it for you in that journey that turned things around?
Honestly, I've been, every time that I'm not as close to God as I need to be, I feel it. You know what I mean? And I've been feeling it, but you know, things of the world, people that I was with and stuff like that, pulling me away from it. But when I had time to myself and this big health scare that I had to have surgery in January on my spine. That was real scary for me. That was very, very scary for me. That's the longest time I've been down, and you know, not doing anything and having time to reflect. I had a lot of time to think, and yeah, that was a big turning point. That was a really big turning point. I didn't want to be unhealthy. I wanted to take care of myself. I wanted to figure out why I was so broken and so emotional, and I just really wanted to work on me in that time that I was down, because I was really depressed about it. A part of me wanted to be mad at God, but another part of me, like, my faith is so strong. Like, I'm very, very spiritual. You know what I mean? So that part of me, it took over, and yeah, that part of me, it took over, and I just wanted better for myself. I didn't want to feel the way I was feeling no more. I didn't want to be depressed and just angry. I carried a lot of hurt and a lot of anger, and it's easy for me to explode. And I just didn't want to do that no more. I didn't want to be that. So I started ordering a lot of books. I got journals. I started writing again. I started writing poetry. I started reading 50 Cent, The 50th Law. That book speaks about being fearless. And a lot of my problem was I was scared. I was scared. I felt like I never felt like I had a voice. Never. So my voice was my music, and the way that I represent myself, the way that I dress, style my hair and things like that. That's how that's my voice. But I want to speak, and I want to be heard, you know? So I started doing things to help me with that. I started journaling, started reading, stopped listening to all the music that I was listening to that's not really about nothing. Started listening to more neo soul, and started putting gospel back into my playlist and things like that. So
you started diving deep. Started diving deep, and I guess kind of getting to know yourself better, and facing those realities that we run from, that only we know.
Absolutely.
How did that feel?
I'm very proud of myself. It feels empowering. It feels like I can go conquer the world. Like, I ain't scared of nothing. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing.
You can conquer the world now? Okay.
I feel like, you know, if I didn't overcame these fears, and I feel like I can confront my past and I can deal with it. And that was like some of my biggest fears, is dealing with that. I can do anything, you know what I mean? So I feel like can't nobody really tell me nothing.
Hey, that's a long way to go. That's a long way to go.
Yeah, and I still do have a long way to go. I still am growing, but it's a different feeling now. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of myself. Like, I see the growth, and I just want to keep on going up. That's it, you know?
What do you feel like was the largest hurdle for you to overcome, that held you back the most?
Fear.
Fear? Probably yourself?
And also speaking negatively to myself, and be, talking down on myself. I was like my own worst enemy at one point,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So getting over that and actually speaking positive to myself now and believing it, you know, that was a big hurdle.
You have a lot of things going on. You really do. I speak so highly about you, and I be trying not to brag. I really be trying not to brag because you're my baby, you know. But you really do a lot. And I didn't realize until a few years back that all those years that you were beside me, that you was with me, I was actually training you. You were in training the whole time. You know, you was my administrative assistant. You've been my right hand man, you know. So I look at that, and so what all do you have going on? So let's talk about those characteristics that you picked up from your mama that carry you till today.
Well, I definitely get a lot of talent from you. I feel like I'm talented in every which way. I do music. I have my own salon. I do nails, hair. I have my own products. I'm very artsy. I like to create things. I'm a go-getter. You know, I'm about my money and I'm about my business. I definitely get that from you. But I do have a lot going on, and
So
I'm
what do you
real
have going
excited.
on right now? What are you doing right now? What's going on in your life now?
Right now, I am trying to get my shop together to have a grand opening.
Okay.
That's my biggest focus right now. And a few months ago, I recorded 2 songs that I really would like to get out by the end of the year, but I'm focused on the shop first, and then I want to get the 2 songs out. But
Okay.
yeah, that's
All right. So what is your brand name?
Cartel Beauty.
Cartel Beauty. What is that about?
Cartel Beauty is, I want it to be, first of all, Cartel Beauty gonna be worldwide.
Okay, worldwide. We're claiming
We're going global.
All right, global.
All right. I want it to be a lifestyle. Like I want you to feel like you've joined something when you come to me. I want you to feel like you're getting an experience. You know what I mean? Like you've like you don't ever want to leave. Like this is my home. When I come up in here, when I get my service done, or when I get my product or whatever like that. Like you know. So. Yeah, like welcome to the cartel. So, you know.
Okay. That's great. I'm excited, and I can't wait for your shop to open and all the great things you're going to do. I love it. I love it. I love watching you. You are very creative. You have a lot of great ideas, and you just all of this is natural. It just comes to you, and I'm like, oh my God! And you are an artist. Watching you in the studio, watching you in your music, you're so passionate about it. And I can't wait for the world to hear it. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for the world to hear your voice.
Me too.
Something that's been important to me for a very long time is those that have a voice, using their voice, actually using their voice, using a platform. And for a long time, I felt like I didn't have a voice too. Even though I'm outspoken, I got a big mouth, I'm gonna let you know how I feel and what's on my mind, I'm gonna be open and blunt. I felt like I didn't have a voice either, but something inside of me kept saying, be the voice you wanna hear, be what it is that you wanna see in, you know, in this world, in your community. And I always had a problem with people that had a voice and had a platform and didn't use it for any type of good, or didn't use it to uplift or inspire or bring people together. So I feel like if you have a voice, then use it. Use it to uplift somebody, use it to wake somebody up, use it to just reach, you know, but reach on a positive note, because I feel like there's so much negativity, so much bad already in the world. You know, we don't need to add to that. So recently, now I'm using my voice. You know, a couple years back, I did a few seminars and I spoke at those seminars, and that was business. That was business, but this is more personal. And you know that I'm a very personal person, very private and personal. So this has definitely been a challenge for me, coming out, opening up, letting people see who I am, different aspects of my life, and learn me. This has definitely been a challenge. But I also feel that I'm obligated, because of all the things that I've been through, I'm obligated to reach out and help and to be there to other women, be there for other women and help encourage and empower them. Because I've been in so many situations where I didn't have somebody to reach out to. I didn't have somebody to say, you're gonna be all right, you're gonna make it through, and all this is what you need to do, or I've been there. So I think it's imperative that I use my voice for those that can't. And that I also use my voice in my healing and our healing. You know, me opening up and doing this podcast has been part of your healing as well. You being here today is part of your healing, and I know you've talked about some things that you've never really opened up about. I know it's been hard for you too. So your voice in particular, what would you like your voice to be used for? What would your voice say? What would be your message?
I want my voice to touch people who have been through similar things as me. I want my voice to touch the people that's going through it and the people that then went through it, that's then already overcame it. You know, I have a story for I feel like my story, like I said, is for the people that's, you know, that's like in the trenches, and the people that's out of it, you know what I mean? Like I want people to hear my story and be inspired and feel like if she can overcome it and if she can make it, I can too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, because a lot of the times I really talk down on myself. I didn't feel like that I would get to this person that I am today. So it's really major for me, you know, that I've grown so much and that I have overcame so much, and that yeah, so I feel like if I can do it, you can do it too. You know.
In your story, what is it that you overcame that you would like other women, that you like to share, let other women know, young women know that they can overcome?
The fear of speaking out. I want young women to love themselves, not let society ruin you. I want young women that's out there chasing for love to realize that you need to love yourself first, and that the right love will come after that, you know. I feel like that was like my main issue, was searching for love and letting love take over my life, really. And
would you like to elaborate on a particular situation?
Well, I was on and off with somebody since I was, for like 13 years, from the time I was 13. And no matter what that person put me through, I always felt the need to prove myself to them. So I always go back and always felt the need to please them for whatever reason. This person physically abused me, mentally abused me, all kind of stuff, all kind of shit. You know, we slept in cars together, slept on people's floors, pillow to post. Like, we really went through it. And I thought that that was just real love. And, you know, I thought that you're supposed to go through all of that. You know, he doing this to me because he loved me so much. He's so over controlling and, you know, all of that shit because that's what love is, but it's not. It's really, really not. And once I realized that, I never ever thought that I would let that person go. But once I was over that person and once I realized that none of that was love, like none of it, it just opened my eyes to a whole new thing. Like, I looked at love a completely different way. When I ended that situation, I wanted to completely give up on love. I wanted to say, F it. I wanted to, you know, just, like, I'm thugging, you know what I mean? Like, but in reality, that's not me. I am a lover, and I do deserve love, but I just had to stop looking at it from that way. I had to think more of myself and love myself more. I had to love myself enough to realize that that's not what I deserved, you know. So I definitely want young women, it ain't just young women, it's women that's still going through that, older women that's still going through that, you know, that it's not love and you don't deserve it and you can walk away, you know what I mean? I feel like if I would have stayed in that relationship, my life would have definitely took a turn for the worse. I don't know how, but it would have definitely took a turn for the worse if I would have stayed in that. So, yeah.
What is it that kept you going back?
The years, the time that was put in, the fact that I really felt that it was true love. I was lost, and for a long time that felt like it was what was familiar to me, and it felt like a home. Even though it was a real broken home, it felt like a home. And I'm a very loyal person, and I wanted to be loyal to him. I wanted it to work so bad. I had this dream in my head of, you know, one day us overcoming all the BS that we had went through and us just riding off into the sunset. But that's just a fairy tale, you know what I mean? And it was never gonna work like that. So I had to really just wake up, get my head out the clouds, and just look at things for what it was. And what it wasn't it. You know? It wasn't it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So.
When you look back on who you were then,
Mm-hmm.
on those pictures of who you were and yourself back then, what do you see?
I see a lost, confused little girl. That's what I see. I see somebody just searching and trying to be something for somebody, but not trying to be something for herself.
Mm.
That's what I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I listen to you say that, that's definitely a characteristic you got from me too. You know, I've done that for a long time. Been everything to everybody else and basically abused myself. I put everybody ahead of me and my wants and my needs. And that kept me busy. That kept me real busy. And I didn't make myself a priority. And what I learned is we reflect what we receive. So if it reflects that I'm not loving me and that I'm not pouring into me, the person that's receiving that, then they're not going to give more into me than what they're seeing from me. you know. And I've always told you girls that when you pursue your dreams, when you're on that road to pursuing where it is you want to be, whether it's you getting an education or whatever it is, that's when you'll meet that one. That's when you'll meet them. But pursue and work on you first. I've always told you, baby, live your life. Live your life. And you got that more than anybody, because I didn't have that opportunity with you to, you know, to be a teenager, to be a young adult, you know, and actually live. So here now I am older and I'm ready to live, right? But all those years I've committed so much to everybody else but me. And that's exhausting. That is very exhausting, because you realize I'm nobody's priority. I am nobody's priority. All these people are a priority in my life, and I'm making sure they're good, and I'm making sure they're taken care of, and I'm making sure this, and that. And no one is doing that for me. And if I don't pour into me, and there's no one else pouring into me, then what do I have left to give? So you definitely got that from me, and I had to learn that the hard way. And that's why I say we're growing and healing together, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You not having your father as part of your life, it definitely made a huge impact. And the only man that was constant was my dad, your grandpa. You know, so you were able to see it, but you just didn't get it in the way you wanted it.
Right, right. Yeah, I've always wanted a father-daughter relationship, but, and I'm not saying that it's not too late. We do talk now, and he does try. But there's still a part of me that just feel like that time has passed, you know, and I still want it, but like I said, it's just a part of me that just kind of feel like that time is just passed. But it is something that I feel like I'm getting over, and us having any kind of relationship now, it is a part of my healing, and I'm thankful for that, you know, and I just hope that it continues to grow, and maybe one day I will get that relationship, you know, you never know. So.
It's definitely a process. It's definitely a healing process. There's so many years that went by without any communication, without anything, so many unanswered questions, so many unknowns. And there was a lot of confusion involved in that too, where, you know, because there is no communication, nobody really knows, and nobody knows how to open up. Nobody knows how to start the communication, because there was a lot of pain and trauma associated with that as well. And, you know, often we don't know how to deal with that. And how we deal with that often ends up in the type of rage or something violent, and us reacting in a way we would not have wanted to react, but it comes out.
Yeah.
It comes out.
Definitely. I definitely had my episodes. Definitely. Yeah.
Let's take it back a little bit. Let's take it back a little bit. On my previous episodes, I talk about you and how having you changed my life, and how you brought out the fighter in me, and talk about a couple of things we went through as you being a child and a teenager. One in particular was the time in Baton Rouge.
What time in Baton Rouge, man?
Well, you know what? I'll let you elaborate.
Which one? It was a couple times in Baton Rouge.
Any one of them. Any one of them. I only spoke about the one when I called the police, when I jumped on you.
The time when I left the house and I wasn't supposed to. And I think I called and Priscilla answered, but you was telling Priscilla what to say. I was trying to peep the scene.
Is that what happened?
I was trying to see if you had made it back home yet or not.
Okay.
And Priscilla was saying something that you wasn't there or whatever like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll be home in a few or whatever. I don't know what I told her. But when I walked in the door, it was not Priscilla behind the door, it was you.
Okay.
And she did jump on me. And I think that's when you was like, if you want to be grown, get out my house or whatever like that. Yeah, so she put me out, then called the police. Told the police she put me out. Yeah, I went by my friend's house, and I think I didn't go to school for a few days, but the police had came to the school when I finally did go back to school. Yeah.
The police
pulled
came
me
to
out of
school and what?
Pulled me out of the classroom. Say your mama been looking for you. I told the police she the one put me out.
What did they say?
I forgot really what happened, but they made me go back to class. I know that. Yeah.
What was it like when you went back home?
I really don't remember. I imagine that it was some tension in the house. I imagine that it was some tension. I imagine I probably stayed in my room or something. I was an angry teenager. So, that was a lot. I put you through a lot. I'm sorry.
Definitely had some times. You definitely put me through some things. Yes, you did. What was the other scenario you were thinking about? Had something happen in Baton Rouge?
Well, at the time we was all fighting.
Oh my God!
It was a lot of stuff that hadn't happened in Baton Rouge, man. A lot of stuff. I would definitely say Baton Rouge. It really shaped me. It really impacted me a lot. The experience I had in Baton Rouge really toughened me up. I say that a whole lot.
Yeah, Baton Rouge was rough. I had no idea. It was pretty rough.
Both of my experiences in Baton Rouge, as a child and when I went back as an adult, it was rough.
What about the time we was fighting? The fighting in Baton Rouge. What happened?
So this girl was upset with me over a boy that we both liked or whatever, was interested in. He wound up taking me to the dance, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she came to my house and she knocked on the door, and her people was like looking for me, trying to fight, and Priscilla had answered the door and told him I was in the back. And then I think Priscilla had went and told them, I told them I was about to be outside, and Priscilla went and told you what was going on, and you wanted to go talk to the girl mama. So we got in the car, and my other friend was there too, but you had wanted to go talk to the girl mama. We got in the car, you trying to talk to the girl mama, she banging on the window saying, basically cursing both of us out or whatever, like, no, F you, I want your daughter, da da da. So you pulled the truck over, he was like, Tyriel, handle your business. So I got out the truck, started fighting the girl, her brother jumped in, and then you jumped in. And then we was just all out there fighting.
That was definitely an experience.
Yeah, I got in a lot of fights out there.
Yeah.
A lot.
That was definitely an experience. We did move a lot. We lived in quite a few different states. And you had to go through a lot of experience where you was a new kid on the block. And you had to prove yourself.
A lot. And they always, because I was quiet, they always wanted to mess with me, test me or whatever. So I remember in Georgia, when we was in Riverdale, I fought the second day.
The second day?
You remember that?
What you was fighting for?
Because the girl was picking on me the first day, and then the second day we in gym, and she like pushed me against the gym locker or something. I forgot what she did, but she put her hands on me. And yeah, I was fighting the second day of school.
They found out, huh?
Fuck around and find out.
They find out.
Yeah. But yeah, I went through that a lot of having to start over and meet new people, make new friends, and all of that. And yeah.
Starting over, moving to different states, being a child with your mom, what was that like for you? How do you feel like that's shaped your life?
Back then, I didn't like it. I wanted to just stay back home with family. I just wanted to be in Slidell. I was tired of having to meet new friends, and once I got attached to these friends, it's like as soon as like we got like that, it's time to go. So, you know, I ain't like that. But now I feel like it is definitely. I love to travel. I feel like I'm very diverse. You know, I feel like I can go anywhere, and I ain't scared. I ain't scared to travel. I'm not scared to get on the road. I'm not scared to do none of that. So it was an upside to it, you know. I got to see a lot. Got to sightsee a lot. We did a lot of going to parks and, you know, visiting. What is the word I'm looking for?
Monuments,
Yeah,
museums.
yeah, monuments and, you know, stuff like that, and things that a lot of people probably never seen or got to do before. So
I think overall it's made you a whole lot more cultured.
mm-hmm.
You have a different perspective on life because you've lived in quite a few different places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know it definitely gives me a different outlook on life. Having spent time with other cultures and seeing how other cultures live closely, you know, it makes a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a huge impact.
Definitely.
So Tyriel, you've definitely shared a lot about your experiences and being my daughter. If there was something that you can say overall about being the child of a teenage parent, being my daughter, my oldest daughter, and growing up, what would you say? What would you share?
I would say it has definitely been an experience, an amazing experience. It has its highs and its lows. I feel like I would not be the woman I am today if I was not your daughter, if we hadn't been through the things that we've been through. So I definitely appreciate it. I definitely am grateful that I am, you know, that I am your daughter and that you decided to keep me and, you know, deal with life of being a teenage mother and not shying away from it like you could have, you know. It's really amazing to see both of our growth and to watch you grow as well. And I know, you know, to see me grow and to see you overcome a lot of stuff is really been amazing. And like you said, we're growing together and we're healing together. And I feel like we need one another. We definitely need one another. Neither one of us could have did it without each other. So.
You're so right. You're so right. You definitely, I've heard it said that we have children to teach us something.
Mm-hmm.
So you've taught me a lot, having you, growing together, that push, that drive that you have, that's all me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't make you by myself, but I can't take 100% credit. However, that is definitely a reflection of me because you watch me push, you watch me hustle, you watch me grind, you grind with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've made money together. We made significant money together, and you've grown a whole lot. You've grown a whole lot. I remember when you were in your rebellious stage, and you know, you can't tell me nothing stage, and mama, this is what I'm gonna do no matter what stage. And okay, baby, all right. You know, But through it all, that brought us back together.
Definitely.
The pain, the trauma, it brought us back together. And I knew you needed me. And I needed you. I needed to know that you were okay and that you were in a good space. What started that transformation for you? Because a few years ago, you moved from Louisiana. You were out there by yourself when I moved to New York. You moved from Louisiana here. Why did you do that? What made you make that decision?
My life was in turmoil in Louisiana. I felt like I was going nowhere fast. And I felt like if I would have stayed, I was around people that was draining me, and I was allowing them to drain me. And if I would have stayed there, it just would have been a repeated cycle. It just would have kept on going on and on. And when we first decided to move to New York, I was against it. I didn't want to come out there. I wanted to just, because I was still stuck in that same mindset. And once I started to look at things different and look around me and, just see how much of a turn my life was taking, it really opened up my eyes. And I knew I had to do something. I had to do something quick. So I moved to New York, and I've really been trying to better myself ever since. Like definitely had my setbacks, but I'm nowhere near the person or in the place that I was when I left Louisiana. So.
Absolutely. You were a mess. You were a mess. I'm like, oh my God, my baby. I didn't want to leave you because I saw where you was headed, but I couldn't change your mind either. You were dead set on what you were doing. And I knew you had to bump your head. You know, I knew you had to see things for yourself and come to your own conclusions. However, when you said, Mama, I'm ready. When you say, Mama, I can't take this no more, I'm ready to go. I sent for you. I put her up for 1 month. 1 month in our own place, and I ain't did nothing else since. Well, I ain't had to contribute. I ain't really had to contribute since. And that was what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
That was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
2019.
In those 4 years, what have you accomplished? Where you feel that how you've grown?
I've started my own business. I've maintained my residence, which was something big for me. I feel like I've grown mentally, spiritually. I definitely got closer with God. And a lot of the things that I was running away from, like my spiritual gifts, I've learned to embrace it and dig deeper into it. Like I just opened up my salon. I started taking my music more serious. I've done shows, which was a really, really big accomplishment for me because I've always had stage fright. I've done a lot since I've been here. I've done a whole lot that I definitely don't think I would have done back home. So.
Okay. So what do you see moving forward? What do you see in your future? And since you did mention stage fright, can you share your stage name and a piece of that?
My stage name is Miss T. That just comes from, I really don't know. My nickname been T from like my friends for a long, long time, since like middle school. And when I started working and going around people, they're just like, okay, Miss T, so it just kind of stuck and I liked it, but I am Miss T. I'm a CEO, nail tech artist. That's my little slogan.
That's your handle. Where can people find you at?
On Instagram, Cartel Beauty with a K, K-A-R-T-E-L Beauty. And _ I am Miss T, that's MISSTEE. And on Facebook, it's just my name, Tyriel Thompson. And that's about it right now. You can go to my website, cartelbeauty.com.
Okay.
That's about it. Yeah.
So what can we expect from Tyriel in the near future? What are you working on? What do you have upcoming?
Like I said, I'm working on the opening of my salon, but I also want to do more content. Like I want to start back doing my YouTube. I started a YouTube channel a few years ago that I never really went anywhere with. I want to just start documenting and creating content surrounding Cartel Beauty and surrounding my life, so that people can just get a better look into me and who I am and what I do on a day-to-day basis and things like that. I want to focus on my online store, so I sell acrylics, I sell gel polishes, builder gels, nail tips and nail charms, and that's about it right now. But I'm gonna be getting a whole bunch of more stuff, and I just really want to focus on Cartel Beauty and creating my content and just letting the world know who I am and what I'm trying to do, and putting Cartel Beauty in your face.
All right. All right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm excited about everything you're doing, and I know you have a point to prove. I know that this year it started off pretty rough with your surgery in the beginning of the year. That took a few months, getting over that, healing and recovering, which you're still recovering. But I know that time being down and working on yourself and this newfound resilience that you have about you, I know that there's a whole lot on the other side of that.
Absolutely.
I look at it like a short-term setback for a major comeback.
Absolutely. A major comeback, yes.
Well, thank you so much, darling, for being here with me today and joining me on Her Story. I look forward to you sharing more of your story and coming out. And I thank you for being a part of Her Story today, and just, you don't know it, but the role you've played in my life. You get bits and pieces of it, but that firstborn child is different. That firstborn child is different. And you've definitely played a major role in who I am today, and the fighter and the go-getter in me. So thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to hearing more of her story, and I look forward to coming again and being a guest later on, telling more of my story.
In conclusion, guys, is there anything specifically you'd like to say to viewers that you'd like to add?
Just thank you for having me again. Go check out my Instagram, Cartel Beauty. I am Miss T, cartelbeauty.com. That's about it.
All right, sweet. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to Her Story. Share this if you found value or if it has helped you in one form or another. And thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us again in 2 weeks for our next episode. Thank you.